I received a comment on one of my sausage tasting videos. Why don't you use tomato ketchup instead of tomato sauce? It's so much better. Confused me a little bit. I always thought they were basically the same thing. Tomato sauce being Australian, tomato ketchup being an American. Same thing, different name. So I was assured that ketchup is so much better. So what's the difference? So let's give it a go, see what the difference is. Now, important, they have to be the same brand. Tomato sauce and tomato ketchup, same brand. If they're not the same brand, it's not a fair trial. So I searched through various supermarkets, and really the only tomato sauce and tomato ketchup of the same brand that I can find a Coles brand. Not really the classiest brand, but what the hell, let's give it a go. Right, tomato sauce, tomato ketchup. Can't really tell from the outside if there's any difference, because this is a solid red bottle, this is a clear bottle. Let's have a look at the ingredients, see if there's any differences there. So hopefully be able to read the labels. Right. Ingredients. Tomato sauce. Tomato puree 77%. And the ketchup, concentrated tomato 74%. Concentrated tomato, you kind of think tomato paste, which would make this a hell of a lot more intense in taste, but we don't really know. Tomato puree, is that just tomatoes being whipped up in the blender, or is it tomato paste? It's 77% the tomato sauce, and the puree, the concentrated tomato, 74% in there. Next up, you got sugar, salt, acidity regulator, 260. Acidity regulators, two regulators, 260 and 330. What the numbers mean, I wouldn't have a clue. You can look them up. So, back to the tomato sauce. Natural flavouring. Sounds good. And the ketchup. Natural flavours. Plus spices. Okay. So, different uncomparable amounts of tomato in the two sauces. This has got an additional acidity regulator. Now, by acidity regulator, I just normally assume sugar. This has got one acidity regulator, this has got two. The ketchup's got two. Both got natural flavours, and this one, the ketchup, has spices tomato sauce doesn't. So looking at the nutrition information, this has got what the hell? This has got 100 kilojoules of energy, and this one's only got 82 kilojoules of energy. So I'm guessing that acidity regulator 260 is sugar, and because this has got acidity regulator 330 in it as well, it's got less sugar. I might be wrong. Right, tomato sauce, protein less than 1 gram. Ketchup, protein less than 1 gram. Tomato sauce, fat less than 1 gram. That's total fat. Ketchup, total fat, nothing. Tomato sauce, carbohydrate, 5.5 grams. Ketchup, 4.6 grams, of which sugars are 4.3 grams. With tomato sauce, the sugars is 5.2 grams of the total carbohydrates of 5.3 grams. So this has got a lot more sugar in it. Dietary fibre in tomato sauce, who'd expect that? Nothing. Less than 1 gram. Sodium. (14 mg). What's mg? Microgram? I don't know. Ketchup has 150 mg, so it's got a crap load more salt in it than the tomato sauce. So far, we don't know the difference between the amount of tomato that's actually in them. This has got more sugar. This has got a crap load more salt. Anyway, let's give them a go. See what they taste like. And what could be a more Australian test than on a Devon sandwich? A couple of slices on each one. So I'll just spread that one out a bit more. Tomato sauce. Got to give it enough to give it a decent go. Tomato ketchup. Already you can see the colour of this one looks much richer than the colour of that one. Of course I'm in New South Wales, so I'm calling it Devon, because that's what it is here. It's Devon. In Victoria, it's called Strasbourg or more colloquially, Strads. South Australia they call it Fritz. It's got various names in different parts of the country. It's pretty much the same thing. If it's sold overseas anywhere, God knows what it's called, and God knows what anyone would think of this muck. Haven't eaten this for decades, and a little bit nervous, but this is for you. Tomato sauce, tomato ketchup, now God only knows what Keith Floyd would think about this, but to Keith, righto, tomato sauce, tomato ketchup. We'll start with tomato sauce, the stuff we all know and love. Tastes like primary school. Ketchup, tomato ketchup, sorry. Initial thoughts, there is a subtle difference. Not really a big difference, not really discernible, well, just discernible, but I do think, sorry, I'll turn it upside down so the label's up the right way. I do think, so far, this is better. Back to the tomato sauce. The tomato sauce it is nice. It does take you back to your primary school days. This doesn't take you back to primary school quite as much. But I will say, ketchup is nicer. Possibly because it's got more salt in it and less sugar. I'm not a fan of sugar. Not really a fan of excess salt either, but it does have more salt. Plus it's got the spices. God knows what spices, doesn't say. That does give it that little bit extra. The ketchup does honestly make the tomato sauce taste a bit bland. The ketchup does have a more intense flavour. So I'm pretty surprised by the difference. Thought maybe it might be the negligible difference. But it's quite a big difference. The ketchup is a hell of a lot nicer. Now, no idea, don't remember what the prices were. Ketchup was more expensive than tomato sauce. And I'm only using the one brand. So whether that equation can be extrapolated to all brands or not, I don't know. I've done the basic intro. It's now up to you to go out and try. I'm impressed. I've avoided buying ketchup in the past because I just thought of some Americanization of tomato sauce. So I avoided it because it said ketchup when Aussies eat tomato sauce. A good old dead horse. Which is something else that's a bit interesting. Maggot bag and dead horse, or pig's eye and dead horse, pie and tomato sauce. So everyone calls it dead horse because it rhymes with sauce. But really, dead horse was originally used as a term for Worcestershire sauce. So, does dead horse really apply here? I'll call it tomato sauce. I do like dead horse, as in Worcestershire sauce, but it doesn't work on a sandwich. Might try it on different other things in the future, but at the moment, I'm going to say ketchup is a winner over tomato sauce. But watch your healthiness. Different sugar ratios, different salt ratios, and God knows what spices are in there. But much more concentrated flavour. It's good. See you next time about.